Hey, excuse me, I'm just walking to my spot. Walking to my spot. There's no mic today. I'm not sure. He's got something on. So doing a invite up anyone if you want to jump on up and join me. Going to be talking regular Mondaeon stuff. You know the drill. Excuse me. You'll be embarrassed at me, Mango. I literally just running. So none of you would hear me walking like this. And I'll be sounding cool again. Hi. Drippy, your artwork is really cool, mate. I saw the little dripping girl that you made. Pretty cool. It's distracted. I'm just passing a McDonald's. If my camera was on and I can multitask, I'd literally do a Mom right now. See if he's working there. I used to think that would be the ultimate plot twist. First, if Mong was actually English, been just fooling everyone all along that he was American. Yeah, we'll give it a moment for anyone who wants to join. You stop laughing, man. Do you know what it is? Is the concrete is pretty hard on my trainers. You know, when I see grass, I go straight for it because the concrete is busting up my knees. Doesn't feel good. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call some of you out so you can join me up here. Otherwise, it'll be a one-man soliloquy. Him, I see you. Jump on up, my friend. I know you're a spaces master. Busy. Come on, mate. There's only 6 of us. Mang, Drippy, Neolit. I'm gonna start sending you guys invitations. Here we go. Quieten down. I know that it's been what's it called? A bit quieter in the I think in the cognosphere as a whole. A bit lately. I noticed that the spaces maybe don't have as many people, but I think that we all knew this time was coming, right? And here he is, the most cryptic of Mangs. Hey, girl.
Oh.
Chippy.
Seb, what's up, dude?
Mang. Hey, girls. How we going?
How you doing, dude?
Was good.
Good to hear you guys.
Ah, what a day. Yeah, just got some outside in myself. I went to there's this awesome lake by me. It's like a glacier lake. It's like really cool. It's like pristine. You can't touch it. It's like several hundred feet deep, so the water is really cool. Just did a hike around it with my kids, just getting back. I'm actually about to work on some content stuff for Flip the Stock Market, start clipping up the newest episode, cows making thumbnails. So yeah, rocking and rolling. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, man. I think not as good as you. That's a bit of an epic. That's an epic a glacier. Where do you live?
So yeah, upstate New York, like how all the lakes in New York, like the Finger Lakes, all those lakes, that was like just a glacier came through and like it flattened out a bunch and then left a bunch of these lakes. And there's like a special name for this type of lake, but basically it's like super, super deep. So they study it, and that's how they like age stuff. Like there's stuff down there from like 3,000 years ago. So because of that, like no, you're not allowed to touch it. Like you can't put a motorboat on it. So the water's like a turquoise. It's really cool. So it's like my favorite place. You go up there, you walk around. It's like a 2 mile loop. They put in like a brand new playground. So I try to get there whenever I can. The kids are off this week, so try to be outside as much as I can. So we were just there for a few hours. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. You strike me as the outdoors dad. Like I couldn't.
Oh, dude, always.
Yeah, I just couldn't imagine you being the indoor type. Anyway, I just see you like camping and. Are you a camper?
Yeah, so we got into camping when I moved up here because I was in the city for like 8 years. So there was none of that. That was like the worst part. Like my son was born in the city. Like it's actually kind of funny. When we got up here, he was like weird with the grass. because he was just used to working on concrete sidewalks and stuff. So like
Deprived.
dude, it was so funny when we get up here, we go like in the front yard, and like instead of playing on the grass, he would just stay in the street. I'm like, no, dude, like the grass, like go touch that green stuff. I'm telling you. So yeah, that's been a cool part of being up here. We just always outside, always running around.
Yeah, man, that sounds probably soon. Oh, I think I'm. What's happening here?
Yeah, I think you.
Oh, it's been a bit funny. Hang on, let me shimmy around. You hear me?
Now, are you going to Amsterdam, Seb?
Yeah,
You're one of the
yeah.
speakers. Dude, I'm so jealous. That looks like it's gonna be so cool, man.
I know they're crazy enough to let me. I said to Moss, "Yeah, I could give it a go," because I thought, I thought what I didn't want to happen is for it to kind of, for there not to be many people who were speaking, and I was just like, you know what, if you don't have enough people, I'm sure I can always, rustle something up and put it together. And then he was really generous. He was like, no, 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 you should definitely speak. And yeah, so I thought, why not? I'm going to do a bit of I don't want to give any spoilers actually, because it's going to be hopefully,
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
yeah, but it's going to be such an incredible event. I'm so grateful to the guys for T Dog, Moss, Mike, etc. for putting it together. But yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's actually closer for me to get to Amsterdam than it is for me to get to Scotland. So it's too close to not go.
So how does that work? Do you fly there? You take a train there? How does that work?
So I'm gonna take a plane. My sister, bless her, is gonna take a coach, which is wild. That's about 14 hours. I mean, that's
I was gonna say that's got to be a hike, right? That's why I was just curious. So you can though, you can do it. Interesting.
yeah, because we've got the Channel Tunnel. And Channel Tunnel. That's more for the train. So we've got the ferry. That's kind of our only link to mainland Europe is those two. There's nothing. Yeah. So yeah, mate, we're gonna do. It's gonna be an adventure. It's gonna be. I need to ask everyone how they feel about me having say like a chest cam because obviously some Eons don't want to be doxxed. Um, and I'm sure there'll probably be strategy around that.
Yeah, I wonder if you could. It's funny you say that. I was thinking about that because like I know so many people like myself want to see it. I wonder if on the name tags you could there could be like a color code where like if you don't mind being doxxed, like it's a different color than the name tag that people that don't want to be doxxed. You know what I mean? So like for something like that when you're shooting content, like you just know like, all right, like I can't show this guy because his name tag's a different color.
Yeah, yeah. I think STPC might be. I'm actually gonna write that down because that's a good. It's a good shout. I mean, it'd be kind of tricky as well in the moment, right? Because if you're doing a live stream, you're so quickly just gonna like just quickly pan to someone, and they'd be like, no, 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 no. So that's a good idea,
I mean, what
actually.
you could do is
Color
there would
code.
be sections. There would be sections where you're like, this is where you're gonna live stream. You know what I'm saying? Like this area of the place is like where we'll
Yeah,
film content, so the people that over there know that they'll be on camera. Dude, his I can't wait for his doc. He's so talented, man. We have so many talented content creators, but I'm super excited for that. And people that don't know, he's in the Flip to 500 run club. He's an animal. That dude's running like 30 miles a week. Like he's a fucking animal.
holy crap! He's recording while he's running. He's multitasking, man.
That's what, yeah, he's making the movie while he runs. Yeah, no, he's training for a marathon. I think the marathon's coming up actually. I think it's actually before Amsterdam. But yeah, he's an animal,
Is
man.
he actually? Is he doing an actual marathon, like a televised event?
Yeah. I don't know if it's televised, but he's running an actual marathon for sure.
Because I tried to enter the London Marathon here because it gets broadcast, and I thought it would be really cool if we could get an Eon, right?
Yeah, those marathons are. So I didn't. I thought you could just sign up for that stuff too when I was like running these like races a few years ago. But it's actually pretty difficult. You either have to qualify or you got to pay a few $1,000s to get into those because they're like highly sought after. I'd imagine that's just like the New York City Marathon.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to qualify, which makes sense. They want to make sure the people that are in it are going to finish it. You know, you don't want some bums in there just because it's only so many spots. So you don't want like some dude that's going to quit 5 miles in when you would have had an actual runner that was going to finish it. But that would be cool to have some SPX stuff on a dude like running one of these majors.
Bro, imagine this, right? We had SPX man gets just to the finish line, turns around. Everyone's like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, I'm doing 6900, baby. And just Ready Player One's everybody. I just think it would just be, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. Especially with the birth of SPX, man.
So wait, have you started preparing your presentation?
Yeah, to be fair, I've got the deadline from Moss of 14th of April. So
Oh, okay. So we gave you a
yeah,
deadline.
it's
That's
good.
cool.
Bit of structure, which I'm actually grateful for. So yeah, gonna get that ready. And there's quite a few speakers as well. I've got I think I don't know if it's the slot that's actually showing on the picture. I hope so, because on the slideshow I'm just before Murad, which would be great because I can only speak for myself. I don't want to go after anyone. I'd much rather go before the guy because
Yeah, just yeah, dude, for sure.
like that would So I'm hoping I can go before. That it will be like say Moss, come on, mate.
That's like the South Carolina one.
Oh yeah.
Cal's leading it off. I'm like, damn, dude.
Oh, are you going?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm going. I'm making. I'm gonna do a presentation myself. I just started to lay it out. It's difficult because like you have so many things you want to talk about, and then like you're trying to think. Like for me, it's like I'm trying to think of something that could be like evergreen, right? Like it doesn't have. It's not really tied to South Carolina. It's more something that's gonna could be looked at, you know, for years. That's kind of how I'm looking at the presentation, right? You want it to make it something that's evergreen that could be circulated around for years. So that part's been a little difficult. How to make something that could be timeless, you know?
I like that agenda, man. That's a really good sort of backbone idea. Have you got any hints from the ether of what that might be?
Yeah, so it's like, dude, I keep like bouncing around because it's everything that we're doing is so relevant to what's going on in the world, like on so many fronts, right? So it's like at first I was gonna do like my presentation was gonna be based around that document, that mimetic warfare document, because I think it's so relevant. You keep seeing it more and more. I mean, look at this war right now. You have a country in Iran that is literally making meme videos, Lego meme video. That's their form of communication right now. Think about how
Wait,
insane that is. Like that is mimetic
Lego
warfare. You know, like
meme
that's what.
video.
Yeah, I don't know if you. Oh, you're not seeing like so like that's like the videos that are being released right now, right? So America started it right with those like literally crypto looking like schizo bomb videos, and then in response to that, Iran started making these like 1 to 2 minute like Lego videos.
What?
Yeah, no, that's and it's like what was just so interesting to me is like that document that I talked about like called all of this. They basically said like that is going to be the new propaganda, like the new way, the new medium for information is going to be memes. And they had all these calculations, and you know they said it's just because the way the brain registers memes, like and the way they're able to like metastasize like cancer, like they could spread and it doesn't. And what was so interesting is like everyone doesn't have to agree with it at first, but the way memes work is just a few people have to understand it. And because it gets spread around so much, eventually a bigger crowd understands it. And that's why memes talk about trench warfare and how like memes on the internet are going to be like the new, like that's like the evolution of trench warfare because it'll be online. It will be less like war on the ground. And it's fascinating. So like that was like kind of what I wanted to start with. But then this AI stuff is kind of more important in the sense of we're watching that take off super fast, right? Like all it took was that one company Block to lay off 4,000 people, and the next thing you know, like it started this cascade effect. And I think all of that stuff, kind of what we were talking about to flip the stock market, I think that stuff's actually way more relevant to SPX because you're just going to see these investments, like these things that kind of look like a joke that start as like these kind of financial investments that make no sense to anyone are just going to start to make more and more sense because the value is derived from human interaction, right? As opposed to a balance sheet and cash flows. And I just think as this keeps moving forward, like that type of, like Murad's talked about this, like that type of data, like cash flows and revenue becomes less and less important to a person. And like this connection is what becomes more important. Like to me, I would argue what SPX has been more successful at than any other meme coin in the last 9 months is cultivating a community that is still here because of the community. That's why, like, if you go and look, where SPX is one of the only coins that's continued to grow in holder count during this downturn. You know, price action, every coin's down, right? So you remove price from it, you go, all right, well, how else would you judge it? Well, you definitely judge it on holder count. You judge it on wallets that have been holding for a longer amount of time, you know, like holding for 1 month, 3 months, 9 months, 1 year. But we're one of the only coins where the holder count keeps going up. And to me, that is a direct byproduct of the commandments, right? Like there is no chart. Like, dude, SPX is one of the few. There's like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 of them where the community has stayed engaged and is having fun. And like to me, that is like that's the takeaway from meme coins. It's like, look, if you just look at this as purely financial, you'll never understand it. But if you look at it as this community, this monetized social network, like that's where the true power is. That's where the real value will be derived from. And I just feel like that's more relevant to talk about because that's something that's going to continue to grow in importance. This ability to communicate across, you know, continents. That's the other thing that makes it right. Like GME was an American thing. It was a response to COVID for sure, but it was an American-based revolution, if you want to call that, right? Where SPX is global and it really is an answer to AI. It's one of these things where humanity comes up against a supposedly immovable object, right? But there is no such thing. We're still here, right? So I feel like this is like the evolution of GME in so many ways, but it's global, and that's even more powerful, right? Because now the message is spread so much further, the roots dig so much deeper. So I think that's what I want to talk about. I also want to see what Cal's talking about because I don't want to talk about something that he's talking about because he's way smarter than me.
Not,
So.
man. Yeah, that was awesome what you just said, Cryptic. That was even that, man. Like, were you just on a flow? Like, I think. I mean, I'm only halfway through your episode. I get like, what's the word? Um, easily distracted between Eon content. So I started watching Murad, and then I just
Yeah, there's so much, dude. There's so
and then I
much.
just go back and forth.
Like that's
Yeah,
the point. Think about that. Name another community where there's too much like there's so much content you get a backlog. And that is a direct reflection of there is no chart. Like people really don't understand how important that was ingrained into this community. Because then it turned into this, right? Like Matt Beck says, it changed the game from price like chart watching to we're going to collect all these coins, and that's the answer to all this. These are finite, right? Like there's only a billion coins, and because it's so much bigger than GME because it's global. That billion sounds crazy, but it's not. It is. It takes time. It takes years, right? That's another thing that meme coin people tend to not understand this cycle. You know, like, well, it's got to work right now. It's like, no, no, no. If it works too fast, it'll fail because then the coins are in the wrong hands. It has to be drawn out. It has to take years. Like that you want those coins distributed amongst all of the aeons that have been grinding here. That's how you win. That's where you get those Doge type parabolas because when the supply shock hits, those coins are in trusted hands. They're not in hands of people that are going to go and flip it for 30K. It's like 30K to them. Like we've been in this grind for a year and a half, 2 years, like 30K, no shot. I mean, I know people that round trip way more than that without even blinking an eye, you know, like, so that's what you need. That time under tension is really what it is. That's how you get these parabolas that everyone in crypto is looking for. They can't see it. They don't understand that like you need to build the foundation the right way. And that's what we've been doing. I mean, really, look at that calendar you guys made. That thing is packed full of content all week.
that was
Like, I don't think there's a time where I'd go on Twitter where there's not some type of Aeon thing happening.
literally all Mike. And he's put it on his new website as well. But yeah,
Mike is the man, dude. For real. What a
Yeah, the man, the absolute legend. And
I love that guy. He really is such a legend,
he's
man.
he's just, I don't want to say indefatigable because no one is a machine, a robot. But he's an incredible human for his output and his commitment. And yeah, I just think the calendar is one of the greatest things. It just makes me think of a festival, looking at the timetable and trying to get, there's going to come a time when there's overlaps live, and I think that's going to be so insane. And you just go onto the calendar and you're saying to yourself, wait, I have to pick between these two things happening live, just like in a festival when you've got your favorite artist on one stage and your favorite artist on the other stage.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. Yeah, and you got to pick
Yeah,
which one. And it's like shit. Now, and this is all happening in what I would consider a bear market in the sense of there's no new money sloshing around yet, but apparently I saw this morning that they think that Clarity Act's going to come out next week and stable coins are going to get yield and all that. Like, to me, that's always been the catalyst. Like, the legislation has to get cleaned up. You need clear cut legislation. That's when the big institutional money starts to run in. And it's like, dude, you think Aeons are crazy now? Like, we're doing this when no one's looking, like no one's here but
100%.
us. Like, so like, just imagine the euphoria when the money comes back, So that's why I'm excited. I think everything is working. Obviously, it's painful in the sense of nothing ever. If there's anything I've learned from like investing, it's like nothing happens as soon as you think it is. And like when you set goals for yourself, you'll always under deliver in the short term, but over deliver in the long term, as long as you're disciplined. You know, like that's just kind of like how life works. Like you'll always do less than you thought in the short term, but if you stay disciplined, you'll do far more than you thought in the long term. And I think that's kind of what SPX will look like in the end. Like obviously we thought it would move faster in the sense of right, like Murad's like all-time highs for crypto. Like which I love that he kept saying that. But like sometimes it just doesn't work like that. But as long as that doesn't dictate your consistency, it doesn't matter. Like it truly doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I always see the sort of, I always think of his efforts as sort of, he's appealing to probably to an audience to kind of fish some people in, and then it gets to be our job to kind of put silly things like there is no price. Well, that's not silly. That's actually really serious, and just But I do think, yeah, I do see the benefit.
Sure, he needs to go
I do
grab
see
those
the benefit.
Yeah, it's almost like a headline on a news article. Like you have to have a flashy headline to at least get the reader to open the article, and then the content in the article is us and what we do. No, for sure.
I'm not like there is a guy though called Ben Crypto, and I think every time I see his videos, I always comment and just say, man, this is so obnoxious of me because I'm just like, stop stop putting that imaginary chart, and just, if he just focused his time fully on, if he just made a pure SPX vid and didn't put any of the silliness in there and just put literally pure stuff, because he does do some decent community spotlighting, his videos would get way more views. Like you can see what's happening with Eons in the community, and I think I've got him here who's getting loads of stuff on YouTube. I think like, I don't know. I think he makes,
Yeah, him's doing great, man. Him's crushing. Him, again, another story of consistency, man. I remember when he started that page. I swear, I think I was like the 7th subscriber. Now he has well over 1,000, and he just keeps chugging along. I think it's cool that it's not really like purely SPX related. I think that's smart. I think that's how you do it. Dude, I want to hear that Vasily dude on like Into the Cognosphere or Persist Forever. I would love to hear his story. His content's great, man. Look, he came out of fucking nowhere. I didn't even know who he was.
yeah.
And now he's got like the fucking content. Like that's the content right now. He's crushing, man.
I remember Vasily was doing really cool edits before with funny stuff. So I think I first saw him on the old TikTok, and he was doing, it would be a regular TikTok thing. I think it's called a stitch. I think it's a stitch where you put two videos together, and he would have like really funny responses, and then yeah, it's just like he just took the mission sort of idea of let's make longer form stuff, and he's done so well. It's his content, I think, is inspiring a lot of people, even if it's I think there's a lot of stuff bubbling under the surface that I hope he knows that he's given off that effect, because it's inspiring me. I think it's inspiring a lot of people in the community from his work. It's awesome. And
Yeah, dude, totally agree.
Drippy as well, mate. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Just chilling with my birds.
Oh, sick.
What kind of birds? What are we talking about, Drippy? What do we
I don't
got?
know if I should say what kind of birds they are, but they're a breed of parakeet. Because I don't know if I have any like recovery questions or some shit with my birds.
Oh,
Well,
like,
fuck it. One of them's a plum-headed parakeet, and one of them's a canary-winged parakeet. If you look them up, they don't look anything like actual parakeets that you would think of. Like,
Parakeets are fun. You could like hold them and stuff. I actually know like a ton about birds because there was a point in time when my dad used to like sell them, like cockatoos,
oh
African
yeah,
grays, Amazons, eclectuses.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of birds growing up. 'Cause I used to foster
macaws.
them. I had an eclectus. I actually had one as a personal pet for probably 25 years, and she passed. But I had an African gray. I had a couple of macaws.
What kind of macaw? Blue and
Blue and
gold or
gold, a blue and
scarlet?
gold, and a green wing macaw.
Yeah. Dude, I remember one time we babysat for this like famous New York City trainer, a hyacinth macaw,
Those are crazy.
which is
They're
like,
beautiful birds.
yeah, dude, that bird's like 10,000.
Yeah,
It was so
yeah, they're
cool.
really
That was a
expensive
really
birds.
cool bird. Yeah, parrots are cool, man. Pretty cool. The African grays were the most intelligent bird by far. They would like memorize the whole answering machine for like my dad's business, or like like if he would play the Beatles all the time, they would sing Beatles songs like for like 30, 40 seconds. Like it was so impressive.
Yeah, these guys can talk, but they're pretty limited on what they say. Usually, they don't say it. They don't talk that much in front of me. They'll do it when they're on their like cage or whatever, hanging out.
I thought for a second.
Yeah, parakeets are just fun. Yeah, those are just like fun ones though. You could like hold them, like you play. I thought the umbrella cockatoo was cool. You could literally like roll around on the floor with that thing.
Yeah, no, cockatoos are pretty cool too. I had one of those growing up as well. I had a Goffin cockatoo and a rose-breasted cockatoo.
You guys could just send messages like pigeon messengers between each other.
These guys do. I
Really?
usually have one in the basement and then one upstairs. And
No
they'll
way.
yell at each other. You can probably hear them though.
Actually, in the beginning, Drippy, I thought you were going to say that your birds. Sorry, no. I've got your C phrases. You didn't want them to speak on the spaces.
No, they don't got that. But I'm a huge OPSEC guy, so like I know that like people will use their pets' names or whatever for their passwords, and yeah, people will always ask people stuff like that on Spaces. They'll be like, what was your dog's name?" And people won't think anything
Oh,
of it, you know. Just a
Oh
little
shit,
tip
I
for
didn't even think of
everybody.
that. Yeah, that's actually really.
So whenever
Yeah,
people
no,
ask
that's
like
smart.
borderline, regular questions, you always gotta think like, oh, did I have an account where they had some security question like that? Like
that's a good
somebody's trying to
shout.
get into my shit.
Yeah, like, what's your address number? Wait.
I get all sorts of calls from people trying to say that they're Telegram all the time. They say that they're like uh, a detective. I've gotten so many different things, and they always say, "Oh yeah, we found you in a Telegram thing." I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, how did they even get this?
Yeah, Telegram's so annoying like that. It's like such a good app. It's such an annoying app at the same time.
Yeah, I don't really get Telegram. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I guess there must be something valuable on there that people are trying to hack into.
Well, yeah, there's got to be some sort of like directory or something. I don't know. There's probably some exploit or something. Somebody's just running through all the groups. But
Do you know, I was actually sorry, I've got some bad stuff around me. I was gonna say, just backtracking a moment. I was actually thinking, man, you guys did an episode. I think it was the last, not this one you've just done, but the one before. And that one you guys were talking about time. And that one's completely like that one's completely reshaped or helped to reshape how I've been looking at time outside of not just SPX, but like outside of SPX. And the level of peaceful life over greed is so wild. You guys were talking about it sounds so basic. I'm not going to articulate it how you guys did, but just that really, really removing the factor of time, and not just kind of removing it for a few weeks or a few months, but just actually removing it. And that one's just sat with me because I've been doing it for everything. I've been doing it for work and saying to myself, how can I remove the factor of time from here and just be with it? And it's been, oh, cow's here. There you go. Guys, like, it just, when something just sticks with you, and I feel like the energy of that episode was such a powerful one. Like,
Yeah, I think that was the episode we were talking about. Like people were like Tams was talking about his life and Cal saying, like overcoming like things that went wrong. I'm pretty sure that was that
yeah,
episode.
cow's going on, man. Coming off if you feel called to. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, some things just hit hard, and I think that is such a, as I look at practices in my life, I'm feeling like the most important things are consciousness interaction, and how do we, maybe I can't give it words, but the things without words are the abstract, the higher levels, the higher planes, the vibrations of love, and all of those things. And then I think about how they feed into each other, and that it's just really tapped so heavily. And the idea of peaceful life over greed, it's just I probably should have formulated this thought before I just blurt it out, but as you hear, it's a thank you. Maybe that's the word. Thank you, man. That was a great episode. I think you guys are very intentional with your episodes, and it was it hit the spot for me.
No, appreciate that. They dude, I'm lucky to be on that panel. They do a great job, and it's one of those things where you always try to surround yourself with people that are operating, at least in your opinion, like on a higher level. That's how you win. It forces you to think harder, to really put effort into things. And Matt Beck is like one of these guys that we are so lucky to have, just a guy outside of this space that's very respected, and he comes in here and he gives us that knowledge that he had, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like he's just some guy, like, well, I've been in crypto for 12 years. It's like, no, man, this dude helped build Grayscale to be one of the biggest Bitcoin ETFs in the world at the time. Still probably is. Like, there is knowledge that man has, that like, he forgot more about crypto than most of us will ever know.
I love
And for
that.
him to just be able to sit there and tell us, about what he's learned is just super cool, man. Like, what a resource to have. And like to have him explain, like, look, like, I've been through these downturns. I know what they feel like, like, I've been there. It feels like it's all over. And be like, but it's not. Like, it's really reassuring stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think
definitely.
that peaceful life over greed is so important. That's why the trenches go to zero. And that's why, like, you're kind of, hopefully we're about to see the end of these KOLs. And it's because they do the opposite. And I think this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Like, you kind of see it, like Joe Rogan to me is a good example of this. How many times have they tried to cancel that guy, right, over the last 5 years since COVID? And it never works. And to me, the reason why it never works is not because he's always right, because he's not always right, but it's because that man has helped so many people, right, in his life, that he's insulated from all of that. You can't cancel that man. If you made a tree of Rogan of how many millionaires he's made, whether it's comics or just helping regular people, like, because he was a good person, because he wasn't greedy, like, he's insulated himself from that. And I think that's like a takeaway. It's like, you be a good person. Like, you don't be you want to go fast, you go alone, right? You want to go far, you go together. And I feel like that's kind of the power of Joe Rogan. Is he wasn't like one of these comics that only took care of himself. Like, think of a guy like Dane Cook, where 10 years ago that guy was like on the top of the world and no one could touch him. And then you fast forward 10 years and no one knows who the fuck he is. And it's like, you go back and you hear stories, and he was an asshole. He was a selfish guy. He never tried to bring anyone with him. And then you take a guy like Rogan, who has been at the top of the game now for years, and it's like, because he always gave back, and I feel like that's SPX. Like, again, I think a guy like Matt Beck doesn't have to do this shit. He doesn't have to sit here and talk to all these different people, but he does because he's a good person. It's like, that's how you win. Like, you take that attitude, and that's how you win, man. And I just feel like we're building a community of people like that are not just here for themselves, they're here for a bigger cause. And I just think that's powerful, man. You can't measure that. There's no metric for that. but that will reflect in our success over time.
Yeah, like it makes a feeling of, hey Ruben, come on up me. It makes, how do I say that? It makes, when I hear him talk, and then we all have this incredible level of conviction, and when someone who's so obviously experienced within this field is then talking about, we've seen this before, it's happening again, and then you say, holy crap, I identified the same things. You're just, it's cool to also kind of think that you're onto something yourself, and it's validated in a way, not to outsource our own kind of intuitive intelligence, but it is pretty cool to have, so many people from different walks and experience and etc. And you guys bring obviously an amazing collection when you're on together. I love Evie on there as well, fantastic. But
Yeah, Eddie was a cool pickup, man. I love Tans. I miss Tans, and I can't wait for him to come back when he's done with his side quest. But Eddie was a cool addition, very articulate, deep thinker. And I think that that's the stuff that people do not think exists in meme coins. And I think we're doing a good job of saying, like, look, man, these aren't just a bunch of anonymous PFPs saying, like, when moon, like there's actually a lot of thought behind this. Like, these are, like you said, people from across all walks of life, doctors, teachers. I mean, look at Space, dude. Space is brilliant. Brilliant. Like, the chances of us having a conversation with her in the real world were slim to none before
I'm telling you,
SPX. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
real. It's real.
Yes.
Like, yeah, just the resources
Powerful
available.
thing.
That was one of the first things I thought when I got into SPX. I was just, even without understanding fully, I was just looking around and saying, these are this is a network of people who are doing something different, and they've got wisdom behind them, and that counts.
Tans was one of those people for me. I owe a lot to Tans, and I wanted to say it on the episode, but I wanted to make it sound like a moratorium, like he was dead. But if it wasn't
You say
if
it
it
here,
wasn't
man.
for Tans, man, the SPX community probably wouldn't really know who I was. Like, I'll be honest, it all started, Cal and I started Crypto Compass because I just wanted, I heard Cal say he wanted to talk on Spaces. I wanted to talk more on Spaces. I was looking at his posts. I loved his posts. I thought they were like very deep. I was like, man, I would love to have a conversation with him. So we started the show, and Tans came on like right away. We like our second episode. Cal, first of all the guests that we got were basically because of Cal. Like, it was Cal's relationship with them, and then we were able to talk to him. Like, the second episode was Murad, and it was such a good episode. I wish I would have known that Spaces delete after 6 months. I would have saved that.
Oh, no
There was
way.
so that yeah, dude, I lost that episode. There was so much that could have been clipped from that episode, and it was because, like, we didn't have Murad on for clicks. You know what I'm saying? We weren't trying to get views. We were there to tell him about our ideas and hear about his ideas and just talk to him about what we were thinking. So he was able to just talk. He didn't have to think twice about anything. You know what I'm saying? And Tans was listening. Tans had been listening to Crypto Compass the first episode. He came on like a few episodes later. He would always listen to the show, and Tans started telling people, like, hey, you should follow Cal and Maj. Like, these guys are great. And then he came up with the idea, like, man, we should do an SPX show, and I would love to have you guys on it with me. And, like, dude, if he doesn't do that, most SPX people probably don't ever really find out who I am, and like, that's why I have such an admiration for Tans, and I really looked up to him before that because I really respected the way he carried himself. He was always very stoic. He was never degenerate or derogatory in the way he posts. He was very confident. He was very to the point, but you never really heard him talk. He never talked shit. He always, like, held himself to a higher standard, and I was like, that's the guy that you need in a community. Like, you need guys like that. That's how you succeed. You don't need guys that just sling shit at each other. That doesn't, in the real world, that does not work. So, like, Tans was always someone I looked up to. So when he was like, yeah, I owe Tans a lot, man. I love that dude.
Yeah, the ghost, the artist formerly known as Tans.
And what's cool about Tans is he'll be back. I don't doubt that for a second. Like, whatever he's got to do right now for his life to get done, like, he'll get it done. That's the type of person he is. And it'll be cool when he comes back. It'll be like he never left. And yeah, Tans is one of the good ones, man.
Yeah, I think Cal, Ruben, what's up? Come on, guys. How you doing?
Good afternoon, bro.
Good afternoon, Ruben. We're in the same country. Where are you at?
Lads.
Cal.
That's what
Guna.
we say in that country, right?
Guna.
Koi, baby.
How you doing, gents?
Holy shit, we got slaughtered 2 weeks ago, man. I'm so sad about it.
I honestly, I only know when people come in the office and I sound like the dad. I'm like, are you winning, son? And they go, no, we lost.
Yeah, we are not. I mean, we are, but we're not. You understand. You understand. That's why I have to retreat. I have to retreat to the cognosphere to remind me of a peaceful life over greed, to not be upset. But I've been lurking on the last like 5 of these. They're so fun to listen to. They're very like, I don't know. They're just like, they're very rejuvenating. You know, like I had a pretty busy day at work today. We have been trying to update like a lot of the little things on Flip the Stock Market too. Like make sure that with this, I guess, restarting of it, that we, because, you know, shout out to Tans, who's a wizard, as we all know. He covered a lot of these things in the past, you know, things like optimizing keywords and getting the right thumbnails for things. And yeah, I don't know, like all A/B testing, like all that kind of stuff. So I just like have had zero time to do anything today. And as soon as I see this, like normally my Mondays are very busy. I just get very excited. And I feel bad because I've been a mute cow recently, and I love you guys and I want to chat, you know. So how's everyone's day going?
Love you too, Cal. That's really nice, man. It's no, man. Thank you so much, Mike. Mike couldn't be here just for today. I know he's got a brand new job.
Coming.
Yeah, he heard the move. He did a run, but yeah, it's literally he's never missed a single. He's never missed a single one apart from this one. But he's got a brand new job, and that might have something to do with it. I know and he went so crazy on the app, but yeah, man.
Muslim Mike is not priced in.
Yeah,
Dude, vibe coding Mike is incredible.
he's unreal. He's unreal.
I've actually been thinking about trying to do something that, you know, like watching him get so good at that, because it's taken probably, you know, 5-6 months for him to get to the point that he is now, and it's made me want to. I guess like this is the first time that it's actually hit me that anyone can make anything online, like any application. And you know, at first that was not that interesting to me because I don't really care about, you know, software engineering or something. But now that I realized I could use it for SPX or something in a creative way, like I was talking to Southern Fried Chat about my presentation in Greenville, and I'd love for it to have an interactive component, be that either, you know, like a site or like, you know, individual cards that I pass out that leads you somewhere that's interactive or something that I could then give everyone like 30 of, and then they go and they can like share them with friends or what have you. I'm not really sure what that looks like yet, but Mike was the inspo for that because I've just watched him basically become, you know, go from Mike who's just the man, from Mike who's the man, plus like you probably want to hire that guy. You know?
100%, like that work rate and just commitment. That's a great testimonial. And Carol, you're speaking all your ideas. If you could start giving us ideas in Amsterdam, we're gonna pinch all your ideas. No, I'm joking. We wouldn't do that.
No more sharing.
Actually, I did want to say just a tidbit that I have picked up in preparation for the conferences is apparently doing something that engages people beyond just talking is apparently a really effective way beyond just a TED talk. So that's something I'm looking into, to do something that's a bit more interactive. So I really like that thing you said at the end there, Cal, like doing things that kind of have a, what would you call that, call to action, or maybe something like that?
Yeah, like a call to action, or just, I don't know. I feel like I've given a lot of, I mean, most of them have been virtual, but I've given a lot of presentations where it's just like having been on both sides, either as like a, you know, someone who's generally presenting or as like a salesperson, and then also on like the evaluator side. It's just like people naturally, especially in a post like phone world, they gravitate away from the thing they're supposed to be paying attention to, and everyone has like some early form of onset ADHD or something. And so I think having something that can like either stay with that person physically or can help the idea propagate beyond just like the one-off video is worth exploring. I don't know what that looks like, but I just think it's like a bit more memorable and hopefully something that can be shared beyond just like that one moment, you know. So yeah, I don't know if Seb, if you ever want to like try ideas on that, let me know. But I haven't fully determined how that's best executed.
Yeah, mate, definitely. Well, I'm to do my slides. Probably, I'm going to get them all finished for the weekend, and I think one of the big things I'm going to do is it's going to be there's going to be some sort of movement involved. But I'll definitely, man. Let's catch up outside
Let's do it.
and Mang as well if you wanna, and anyone else who might be talking Ruben. I know you're as well. But yeah, mate, definitely that'd be really cool. What would you do for, like, you were speaking about maybe like vibe coding? Would you ever do anything that would involve flip the stock market? Is that something on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely like what is that guy's name? He's a Milady. It's like Mosey or Moby or something. I don't know, he shits on VCs a
I
lot.
don't know
He's
the
pretty
guy.
funny. Yeah, but he recently put together an AI index, like an AI thread index tool that I think is really interesting. It basically breaks down the demographics of employment across the United States. And it basically tells you based on X, Y, and Z parameters how subject is this area from a gubernatorial perspective, from like an employment perspective, to AI and to robotics. Um, that kind of showed me too how wide of a range these things can be used for. So I think that would be great. Like now that we have more data too on certain Aeons live in this area and there's this many holders and we have various forms of on-chain analysis, various forms of various shows popping up. We've got the calendar. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we could do to create like a very interactive um, place that Aeons could go either to reinforce their belief, to show new people. And now that it's not that hard and it doesn't take like 3 weeks of work, I just think that it's worth exploring for sure.
Yeah, like new avenues. Maybe I know Mike was talking about having a sort of ensemble of coders, vibe coders, and obviously he's got the bounty thing up now. Maybe that's something. Maybe there's like a collaboration or something. I don't know. Have you got like experience? Have you got like any?
Zero.
I don't know what you call. Same.
Negative. I
Same.
just like basically the friction between idea and like outcome is quickly compressing to zero or near zero. And so that's very interesting to me. Like, whereas in the past, like I would have some of these ideas, but I'm not a technical person and it's not worth hiring someone for like 20 grand to go and make something like this that's just like a cool idea, you know? So I don't know.
100%. Yeah.
I would want to think more on like what's practically useful, but I just like making things and I like making things that support the ecosystems we're all in. And I think the Cognisphere in specifically, like there's so many niches to it now that it could be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as all the I don't know what to call it. Use the word. It was something like the data stuff. That's been. I know obviously Matt Beck is really cool with it. Eon Reborn posted some stuff. You're good with it. Like those. Those are like crack in a really good way. Maybe because we're like what would we call ourselves? We're like the really strict diet people. No sugar, no carbs after blah blah blah. No fizzy drinks. No crap. Healthy living. We go to the farmers market, and then you get to the farmers market, and you see an organic homemade chocolate bar with pure cacao, and you're just like, oh shit, that looks so good. And you know it's so healthy. That's what your stuff is like, man. When Matt Beck
Yeah,
fests that stuff, it's so good.
It's like that guy, like the baker who hands out like cookie samples, and you're like, I guess I could have one.
Yeah.
And then you're like, next thing you know, you're in a ditch somewhere.
Just one cookie.
Literally. I mean, I don't know. I'm like conflicted to some degree on because I agree with you. I agree with you that I mean, that stuff is awesome because it's basically just proof of belief, right? But at the same time, I'm somewhat hesitant to make like a live version of that just because I feel like, it gives bad actors like the wrong it gives people who are very flimsy in their belief like the wrong thing to anchor to.
That's a good
Number
point.
one, and number two, like inevitably those things oscillate, and when it, you know, the whole purpose of there is no chart is not to like over fixate on short termism and things. You know, there are times where like yeah, you know, like belief metrics are going to look a little worse, right? There are times it's going to look a little better. As long as the overarching direction is correct, there are many victims and fallen soldiers in the long lineage of Bitcoin's history that could not take the ups and downs that came with it. And like I've always seen, there is no chart speak as the like the antithesis to that, you know, like an attempt almost to help a normal person navigate that environment. And so I also don't want to like undo any of that. But there's still got to be interesting ways. I think DCA is a great that's a great example, right? Not to say that that's vibe coded, but it's just easier and easier for people to make things like that. And yeah, I don't know. Like next time I have an idea, I'm actually able to do something about it. Is I guess my point in the last 10 minutes of random ramblings.
That's what we're here for, man. This is the ramble session. You ramble away, Cal. They're great rambles, man. And yeah, that's. I guess when people with no experience start doing it, then it will just light up for others. But I see what you mean with the chart thing. I think that yeah, it is the simplicity, right? Of that thought came to my head before. It was like foundationally, there's almost nothing and everything that SPX is built on, and it's the nothingness that makes it so profound. And the foundations are akin to so many sort of spiritual and religious practices. It ends up being so empty when people look at it, and that ends up being the namaste of it. If I can't think of any more of a hippy dippy word. Oh, Lanky, what's going on, brother? How are you, man?
Hey, bro, I'm good, bro. I had a good day.
Did you say good day or you had a good day?
Just about.
Oh, I lost you for a moment.
Nah,
How you going, man? Did you hit the streets with the £5?
Oh, it was so good,
Yeah.
bro. It's so much fun.
What's been the sort of feedback from the people? The videos look amazing, man. Amazing.
I know. I think it looks so camera perfect, so I'm gassed to be doing it. But yeah, people are so engaged. Like, I reckon half the time people say yes to filming it, so like, rejection isn't even that bad. And like when people do reject, it's like, oh, they're almost like kind of interested, kind of intrigued. So it's just so good, bro. Like going out and being good vibes with everyone. Like when we go out and leaflet, it's tough. It's like, you know, when you get a leaflet from someone on the street and it's like Hello Fresh or something. Like you pick it up, you just kind of smile at the guy, you know he's doing a job. But like when we're out there and we're doing it, you know, cult labor, it doesn't seem to resonate the way that I'd want it to. So this is just the sweet spot. This is the thing. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Definitely, man. I know you felt the blow of bank. We were at bank the other day, guys, and it was
Yeah, it sucks.
it was, but it was. We were saying like when you're in different locations, the crowd is so they're so different. So the Bank of England, it was in the morning. They're all going to work, and then Ruben's obviously putting on the heroics and trying to get people engaged. And there's a lot of traffic, but at the same time, everyone's going to work, and they're probably quite wealthy already. I was thinking anyway. That's my take on it. And £5 doesn't equate to the interruption to their 500 journey.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what's the word? It seems like you're finding the audience that is lighting you up, man.
This is my thing. I'm gonna be doing it weekly. And when the sun's out, oh my god, it will look so good.
But I was actually speaking to Nick earlier because he had a really good idea, and I think that the creativity aspect, I've definitely lost the creativity. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record because I was saying this a few months ago, and Mang was encouraging me to to do something different as well. And but it's just it's just a bit flat. I can feel, and I do feel. But when I first started doing the megaphone, it was new and it was creative for me, and there was like different angles, and I can feel that it's our own joy behind it that brings it to life. I think at least for us. Like if we're enjoying it, then we can be more consistent with it. So that's the golden ticket you got, man.
Yeah, spot on. Like actually enjoying it, like for real enjoying it. I'm actually excited each time to go out and do it.
I got a golden ticket because I got a golden ticket.
Yeah, it feels
Sorry,
like that.
guys. I had to do that to you. But yeah, mate, it's we've got a I don't know. I feel like a big one. Oh, there's a bit of echo on the thing. Yeah, but yeah, mate. I'm trying to think of something that's a bit more creative. Slow. I see you, girl. I've got your lines, and I'm going to be dropping them as well. I've been. Oh, if anyone could help me out, by the way, all these clever eons here. I am looking for some lines to regurgitate. Slow. I'm going to be learning your ones this week that you sent me kindly before. But if anyone has any lines that they could send me specifically around, I don't know, the 500, and I want to try and say things that actually hit people. And yeah, I would really appreciate basically if anyone has anything that would be, I suppose, that would, if you heard it, you might stop and think for a second, or maybe not stop. But Mike wrote a post the other day, and I realized that I don't know if we have that many articles in the community that are actually about the shortcomings of the 500, because I say they're a corrupt system. And maybe Ruben, actually, I need to go through your book because you've got loads of stuff on that, right?
Yeah, I include little bits, but it's one of those things where yeah, each individual company has its dark, but I don't know, like even like myself, I always struggle to really pinpoint it on the overall thing. Because like recently I've been looking a lot into where like the ownership goes, like who owns BlackRock? When BlackRock profits, who profits? And it does get so murky, but it almost feels like the murkiness is a reflection that it's just so spread out, like it's across everyone in the West's pension has a little bit. Every bank has a little bit, and it's like there is a bit of a circle going on where companies own each other. Like I was saying, how so the biggest creator of the pound is Lloyd's Bank, who are owned 9% by BlackRock and 5% by Vanguard. But even BlackRock is owned 5% by Vanguard, and then who owns Vanguard? And it's like, well, BlackRock and State Street, as well as all these pensions. And it's just like it's murky, and I think honestly, the answer is we do in some backstory, like everyone does. Everyone's pension is literally a piece of it.
Yeah, like that stuff is even like, do you have that in your book? Because I'm pretty good at learning lines. I think I'm gonna try and I'm gonna educate myself basically on things like that you're saying. Because even the murkiness, even as you describe the murkiness of it, I think that would hit people in a 20-second soundbite. I could capture them with people walking past. I could get in 20 seconds. Is that in the
Yeah, I
book?
haven't included, nah, not in the draft that's currently out, nor in what I've currently got going, because I can't, like, it's not clean enough. It doesn't even make sense to me. Like, even with all the power of AI, I can get Claude researching for 10 different chats on the ownership, and it just comes back with circular answers, so it's not included. But I do have bits about, like, certain pharmaceutical companies. I kind of mentioned the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait. Is it linked on your page? Where's your?
Nah, somewhere, but not recently.
I'll have to find it. But
Yeah, I'll send you a fresh copy.
yeah, it just ends up being so. Thanks, man. It just ends up being so um, useful to say those things, because if I can recite even just one thing, I think I could capture more people. But anyway, it's a homework project for me to do. Homework, Seb. Slow, you got to come up, girl. Spacey, Young Fud, I'm gonna call you guys out. No, come on up. Don't feel pressure until I pressure you. What's when are you next going out, Ruben?
Whenever the weather's good, like one day after work, if it's a nice sunny day, it's 9 o'clock to move back, bro. Like I leave the office and there is daylight.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
wild, isn't
Mikey,
it?
I was yeah, I was thinking about something for your content because I love what you're doing. First of all, dude. So I'm not giving
Cheers,
you
man.
advice. Just something I thought about. So like when you asked him like who owns the pound and you were just talking about BlackRock, I think a question if we like you type it into Claude, figure out how much money BlackRock's made over the last 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and you could ask them like, how much have you profited from BlackRock over these last 5 years? And they'll probably look at you and say none, and then you just be like, well, they've profited, whatever it'll be, depending on the time frame, tens of billions, hundreds of billions. It could even be trillions over a 10-year period, something like that. I think a lot of people just don't understand how much money these mega corporations are making, while the average person continues to actually lose purchasing power, right? Like, I think people just don't really grasp the amount of money that they're extracting from society.
Mm. Yeah, it's a great idea. I don't know if I'll even be able to find an answer or something like that, but like, yeah, sure. BlackRock has to be posting revenue and profits yearly, so that could definitely be found out.
Yeah, like I bet you there's some type of ballpark number, and you could even and if like you could even just do it for any big publicly traded company in that sense if you wanted to get a more hard number. But I just feel like a lot of people, right? Because for most people, from over the last 5 years, I'm not saying their life is worse, but their life got harder. Things have gotten more expensive objectively, right? And while these companies made all this money, right? Like we're kind of on the other side of the page, and I feel like people just don't really understand how criminal it's been.
Yeah, that's the bit. It's as soon as people know, they're no longer ignorant, and I wonder even how many Eons know about what we're actually doing with the 500, because I realize I actually don't. I realized from my post that I know way less than I didn't think I knew much at all, but it just highlighted to me that I've actually just been saying, it's a corrupt system, and I've listened to you, Ruben, talk about stuff, and I always want to rewind what you say, but we're always in some sort of crazy situation. And I think to myself, holy crap, how many of us are actually politicized? I bet Spacey's got some stories, but how many of us are, I suppose, politicized enough to kind of be able to thread enough coherent pieces together? And I'm definitely not. And if you did make anything, it'd be amazing. I'm definitely going to do some honest research.
Oh, dude, it's so criminal. Like I've been talking to S&P Hater a bunch because we're going to try to put something together where I think his articles are super important. I think they have a chance to really break through like the chasm of crypto Twitter because they show how like demonic these companies are. And like even just his first article that he made about like the potato company, like it's kind of crazy. Like if you go back and read it, and it's a short article, so we're gonna try to turn those into a video. Like I'll orate them because English isn't his first language, and I feel like those would really do well on YouTube. But I agree. I think people just don't really understand it, and they really don't understand how much that they passively participate in that system, right? And like the other part that I was going to say is why that question would work. I don't know the data in overseas. Like I only know the data in America, but 50% of the population does not own stocks at all. So over the last 5 years, they've benefited actually $0 from these companies, right? And most people that do own these stocks, they don't own it in a personal stock account. They own it through their retirement, right? So like literally the working class has been left out of this wealth transfer, and I just don't think they realize to what extent.
Yeah. Oh, this is getting me fired up. I was actually thinking of maybe this is a bit, what's the word? It's gone. But just going to an Arsenal game, it's for you, Cal. Going to an Arsenal game and speaking to people there, because I thought they're how many regular people fully in the energy of belief, maybe not when they lose, but fully in the energy of belief could have really interesting conversations. And Arsenal TV is a really big deal. I've seen it on YouTube. I don't watch football, but I know that their fan base is really passionate. Their fan base is kind of akin, from what I've seen, to kind of SPX. They're really community driven in a lot of the stuff I see. And it'd be kind of fun to have conversations with people who are, I don't know why they came to my head, Arsenal, but it's because it's not too far for me to get to. But yeah, this feels like a mission. Understand the 500. Know thy, I don't want to say enemy, but Know thy opponent, so we can flip them properly. Flip them properly. Also, guys, I just wanted to do a quick plug for Facebook. I think I saw Saucy's here. If any of you guys haven't jumped on, if you could do the Cognisphere solid and jump on there and add an account. It's dead easy, and you don't even have to use your own what do you call it? You don't have to use your own name. You can just make a brand new account, and you don't even have to engage. But I figure it's like one day when the numbers are absolutely rampant again and everything is just moving around, it would just be another number on another platform that just impresses people, because we've got the numbers. But yeah, just got to plug it every Mondaeon and any other platforms that you're not on. I know we were talking about LinkedIn last week, which is quite funny. Don't know if you guys saw the Jinping Labs video that Mike made as well. Jeffrey Banks, put your Jinping Labs picture back. I missed it, Jeffrey Banks. When you took it down, it made me sad. Your backgrounds are the best, man. Best backgrounds. But the Jinping Labs was my favorite one. And got a few plugs here. I was just going to bring up. I don't know if anyone had any thoughts on this, but it was a bit of an interesting conversation in the community. Was Jasper, who got his E on this week, if you guys saw, and there was Gengarara. Did anybody engage with this back and forth? Ruben, did you see any of that, mate?
Sorry, what was that?
Did you see any of Jasper and Gengara's interactions on? It was about DCAing. It was about DCAing, and there was a bit of an extractive, maybe quality to one of the posts they were mentioning.
What, on Reels?
No. It was just a post. It was just a post. Basically, I'll give you the backstory. Basically, it was, I think somebody had said something like, I DCA $1 a day. Am I a real Eon? And Jasper had said something along the lines of, not really, if you're not representing anything else other, like SPX at all, other than what was it? Than saying, am I an Eon? And then there was a bit of a back and forth, and I think there was a contentious point over if having $1 a day, which obviously is Eon behavior, it's incredible. But here we go. Hello there, pal. Can I get you up? Mr. Meta, I can't read it properly. Mr. Metaverse. Oh yeah, were you in the conversation? I think you might have been.
Yeah, I was just listening to the space, and how timely. This is actually perfect. Hey, everybody. I'm Meta. Nice to be up here. No, I was part of the thread. No, we were just talking about DCA culture, and I don't know if anyone knows this, but our project created a platform, not dissimilar to some other platforms that are out there. And the whole point is just to make it the best possible DCA platform in the world. So we came up with a bunch of different things, and we offered it out to the SPX community, and it was met with quite a bit of contention, which is kind of surprising considering how much SPX has been an inspiration to the project itself. It's actually continuously kind of a theme that comes up almost uniquely with SPX, and I don't really know why. It's a good platform out there. There's a couple people up here that can speak to it. I know Manja is part of it, and so is Cal, or at least they've been on the sidelines. I can't say I'm part of it, but yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions. But it is very much like a community-driven platform, and to have every single project out here win.
I think and I'm personally, I'm glad that is the sort of reception that comes back from the Cognisphere, because I do think that's like the running theme of what makes SPX. SPX is preserving that culture, is literally being resistant to the I'm trying not to think of a derogatory way to say it, but the kind of pairing with SPX. I think that's where always the antibodies, or whatever you call them, start to come up, because it's so ingrained in the culture that the mission is the mission. And I think it's always, or it's definitely recently, since I've been in SPX, been a big point that we have to preserve the culture. And it's really easy for other communities to tack on. So I don't ever think it's personal. It's not that there aren't wonderful people behind projects, but I think that I can only speak for myself, and feeling like a, a madman for SPX is there's nothing else like it. And preserving the culture means kind of just shooing away anything that isn't it, because it dilutes the idea to many of the maximalists about what it is. And that doesn't mean it's that for everybody, but I think that will always be the pushback. Oh, sorry, Cal. Hello, Cal. That's probably the pushback that you're experiencing, is just so deeply embedded into the culture that we many of us, I can't say all of us, but many of us want to preserve what it is. Cal, you're up, brother. Do you want to jump in?
Excuse me. Yeah, I think I kind of I think there's been many adjacent debates, at least in my time in SPX over the last a year and a half now, about like similar things. You know, I think there's a cohort of people that are very anti, um, you know, like I think that this sort of ward off things that aren't SPX as like sort of anti-cognospheric. I completely understand why people feel that way, and I think for the most part, it's a very like valid approach to the space. I think even I was maybe like a bit naive at times in the earlier stages, which was a different like time to be fair, but at the same time, like I think in the earlier stages of my relationship with SPX was like a bit more PVE in theory, that everybody and everything could win. And I really like the idea of the mimetic index that Baprol had sort of initiated when SPX was in its early days, that every, like basically memes would LP with SPX and then the value would accrue to both tokens. And it's sort of like this final form of what an index could be. And the idea that like a mimetic index could flip the real index is like that was actually what personally caught me as just as an idea, right? Because I think especially when you get really into like crypto as a whole and you realize what's possible with decentralized finance, like ideas like that carry way more merit because you're like, wow, like we can really make our own economy basically in our own sort of financial structure. But TLDR, like I get why people are very defensive of what SPX stands for, quite literally like what people in SPX spend their money on. At the same time, like I think there's just always going to be different opinions. Like I sort of fall in the camp that I hold other coins. Like I specifically, realistically, the only coins I hold in size are SPX, Giga, and Apu. I got into both Giga and Apu before I got into SPX. So like I don't really feel any need to walk that back. I love both of those communities. I love those coins. Um, but I think at the same time, I understand basically there's always going to be a subset of people who are not interested in anything other than SPX and are even against it. And I've come to accept that and even like love that perspective for what it is. Um, but there will always be people who are somewhat interested in other things as well. And there will be nefarious people that are sort of trying to lure weaker aeons or newer aeons into these other pits. And so I think we just kind of have to, accept that for what it is. And um, everyone's going to look at it a little bit differently. And yeah, I don't know. That's how I've always seen it. But I just wanted to add that I think Mr. Metaverse is the man, and I've really come to respect him a lot. But I understand if some people want to use like SPX specific things. Like I don't see anything wrong with that. But at the same time, I feel that this conversation is going to repeat itself for like 20 years to come.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny because the repetition of it is I'm seeing it now more and more. So
Yeah, it's an important topic too. So like I get it. I do get it. But yeah, I mean I do think there's just like not everything is the same, but at the same time, yeah, I mean it's probably net positive on all fronts if people who love SPX the most put most of their money into SPX. But um Yeah, I don't know. It's essentially a repeat of like Bitcoin maximalism conversations, I think.
Yeah. I mean, when you said that, Cal, about it was a different time, I know what you mean as well, because the landscape was so different when a lot of us got into SPX. I know that I was in another community, and I was loyal to the people, not to what it was. And I think that, and I did eventually move away from it, but that that was that was that was for my own reasons. Um, and and obviously, yeah, I completely respect everyone's differing opinions personally, but I know what you mean. It was just you. Everything looks so different. The meme space looks so different. Crypto looks so different. We were going off maybe what, or at least for myself, I was going off what the past cycle where I'd entered in had looked like, and I was trying to identify what would be the best to get into. And I'd never been in a community before. Memes seemed to be making that, and that was amazing. And so I think there are a lot of people who have still got soft spots in varying degrees for communities that they first started out with, because they're people, and they're some pretty genuine connections that we've had. and I've completely got time for the people, and I think that Cryptic, go on, mate, you're going to jump in.
You might hear my daughter screaming in the background for a snack. I just gave you a snack. So I saw that thread, and I actually think that like they didn't. There was like two different points being brought up at the same time. I totally agree with Jasper. Like, dude, you do $1 SPX a day. That doesn't make you an Aeon. I don't buy that shit. That just like you put in. Being an Aeon is putting into the cognitive sphere. It's not putting $1 into SPX. You know what I'm saying? So I totally understood that. And then like the conversation kind of just like went another way with Metaverse's platform. So I know Metaverse. I think he's a great guy. I actually DCA SPX on that platform myself. I put like $20 in there, and then when it runs out, I do it again, and then I pull it all off. But like I just don't. To me, they didn't. The conversations didn't weave together. Like to me, they had nothing to do with each other in that sense. So I think it kind of just got all like jumbled up. So like I just didn't really understand how it got woven together. Like what Jasper was talking about to me had in my I just didn't see how it like pertains to that DCA platform. And like for the people that don't know, what I thought was cool about the DCA platform was instead of paying the fees on Jupiter, like 50% of those fees go back to buying SPX, which I thought was cool. So I was like, that's cool. And I No Metaverse, I got to get to know Metaverse. I think he's a really good guy. He was just on Pond Talk. If you guys didn't listen, I thought it was a great episode. So like that's why I did it. So I was like, well, this is cool. If I'm just gonna DCA this on Jupiter anyway, and they're just gonna rate me, and nothing's gonna go back to SPX, or I could do it on this, and a part of it does go back to SPX. I thought that was cool. So like that was my whole thing. But like Cal said, I completely understand and agree with like the defense mechanism. You know, I feel like Hype is a great example of this. Like from the outside looking in, you look at Hype, you go, "What a dickhead this guy is." But then you realize it's like you need him. I think of Hype as like I don't know if you guys watch hockey, but like Hype's the enforcer. He is the guy that goes out on the ice, and if you go after the best player on the ice, like Hype's gonna drop his gloves, and that's what he's there to do. You know, he's been there the longest. You know, he's like that guy on the team that's been there. He's got scars all over his face, but you know that he's there through and through. So again, I understand both sides of it. Like I totally get that because I do think that Aeons in general, because they're so nice, they're more susceptible to getting scams. I feel like we kind of saw some, I don't want to call it a scam, but something similar with that NFT thing that happened a few months ago. Like where the fuck's that guy been? Right.
Yeah.
So I think that stuff could happen. I think that's so I think that that is like kind of like the T cells of SPX. Like you need them to show up to fend off some stuff. But I just felt like that conversation was a good that was a good point that he was making, and there was and somehow it got woven into this other thing that I didn't really think was relevant to that point that was being made.
Yeah, like maybe a bit of a mixed jumbled stuff. Yeah, go on, mate, you can jump in.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I was popping in the car and I just lost a bunch of connection. First off, thank you guys. This is awesome. Like Cal Maj and I don't get up here enough, so it's rare that I get to be up here with two buddies. Yeah, and also I agree too. Like the conversation did get jumbled, and I got some learnings out of it too. Like we thought we just all of us just are walking bags of assumptions, right? And so one of the assumptions that we have is that if we build something that's going to be really valuable, people are going to want it, for one, and two, that like the overall identity of what we have is going to be acceptable for other projects. But I actually took a huge learning away from it, which is like, and it's pretty obvious in hindsight. But yeah, like when we do cross promotion, there are definitely do nots, and stepping on the identity of the community itself can be perceived as aggressive. And it's actually something that's very lovely. I think something that Manja's just saying is like, hey, there's enforcers in the community, which if you're part of that community is actually exceptionally bullish, right? This morning I was talking to another space with Unstable Coin, and I don't know if anyone here has experienced Yugong, but like when he was with Unstable Coin, like the whole thing was like, it was his brand. It was just like getting people's faces, being the enforcer, which I imagine if you're on the inside of that community was actually quite nice. To be like, yo, we got the enforcer here. Something that's great about the strongest communities is that you have some sort of flavor of enforcement that's going on to say like this is good and this is not good. And so as we're still kind of a newer project, right? Like we're still having to earn trust. We've only been around since August. We come out and we say that we're a PVE, and it's really kind of up to us to continue to live that indefinitely for a long, long time, right? So I'm still learning. We're still learning. We're trying to figure out the best way to do it. And along the way, we're definitely gonna like scrape our knees a bit. And so I kind of looked at that conversation being like, all right, we bumped our knees a bit. That's all good. We're still up. And I think on the other side of it, maybe we even got some more homies out of it. Because look at this, we're up in the space, we're all talking about it. And yeah, I mean, we are obviously like super good intentioned, but Aeons are you guys are fierce, and it's a big community, and there's obviously just nothing but a ton of love and respect. So yeah, if it was offensive, sorry, I didn't do it and all that, but like our identity, I personally did do the identity. So like I actually have a ton of responsibility here on the DCA blinder. So it's I'm taking it as like a lesson learned, and I'm thinking about it more as we kind of evolve our brand. So sorry about that, guys.
No, I reckon there's it's always an experimental ground that we're on as we're figuring out where the lines are. Like I know that because this conversation keeps popping up, I'm finding it personally more easier to be able to define where I put the line, where I say, oh, do you know what, that's not really for me. And yeah, so they are good conversations to keep having. I just saw it in the week and I thought, oh, that's I'm mindful as well to not, I should probably phrase things a bit differently, but I'm mindful as well to not just bring to make it seem like a drama starter, but more like a conversation, because I know that dramatic topics, just like clickbait, makes for maybe more emotional conversation. But I also love that there's a peacefulness to SPX that gets to sort of move past that maybe low.
But like his original point, like Jasper's original point, like I think that's a good point, because like we're in, like, call it a bear market, whatever you want to call it, quiet market right now, and you best believe, like anyone that was there for the original run up, once the price starts moving, there'll be a bunch of fake SAons saying,
yeah.
I've been here. So like, no, you DCA dollar, no, you're not an Aeon. That's bullshit. So I totally understood the point that he was making. Like I think that that's a good point, and that's a point worth defending, because again, like this is in a down market. Like how this works when this starts moving again. All those KOLs that have been talking shit about Murad for the last 6 months, like they'll be back. Like I never left, like that shit'll all come. And so it's good to have a community that defends like what the ethos is. Like to me, it was just that conversation got all jumbled up.
Yeah, like
Yeah, there's lightning rods. Like everything is first off, this app is like who's really fully engaged at all times when they're having discussions. Half of us are multitasking. Some things are just like a passing glance. It actually was nice because again, like in the discussion itself, I had thoughts about what it was about, and by the end of it, I actually realized that I was wrong, and that again, like putting myself in Jasper's shoes, I was like, okay, I get that, and I also get Genj's point of view as well. So the whole thing is, for me, is like if I can just play a little bit of an anthropologist and kind of like learn a little bit more, because SPX is the work is elusive and important, you know. Like there is a little bit of a vibe to outsiders of like, what is this thing and how big is it and what are the edges? I still just gotta kind of continue to learn. So yeah, lightning rods, people are also like half distracted. I do agree though, Manj, like the whole thing was, it kind of felt like, I don't know if you guys have a family that fights like mine. Thinking about my childhood growing up with my sisters, man, like half the time we were arguing about different things. Like that's what that thread reminded me of. I was like, okay, if I can just learn here, then I can see what everyone's trying to say. But in the middle of it, it was a little tough to pick apart. But yeah, on the other side of it, it's like there's a lot of good points. I can kind of get the perspective.
Yeah, it's a good point. Maybe there was some cross messages, because I do feel like I do feel like in the community in general, there's few times when we're talking to each other and when we're not. I think a lot of the time we have that extra level of patience, because as human beings, when we're talking to each other, very often we know that the person on the other end that we're having that discussion with, if we were just able to communicate in their language, but our message, because the words coming out are often clumsy to what we're trying to say, we would just relate. And that has an extra barrier layer when it comes to social media. You know, like if you send a message to someone and you don't add the emoji, and they're like, this son of a bitch, he doesn't care at all. And then you put a softener on there and they're like, he loves me.
For sure. Yeah. Anyways, it's I can't stay up here for too long. I just wanted to say thank you. I was like, I just happened to be tuning in. I saw that Kat was speaking for a second, and I was listening and kind of learning a little bit. And yeah, the topic came up, so I just want to say thanks for letting me come up and kind of, I don't know, clear the air a little bit, or at least understand a little bit more. To your point, none of us are really in each other's heads. Communication on the best of days is like fairly efficient, but that's where I felt like it just wasn't at all. So yeah, I'm glad that it came up. It's kind of nice to rehash it for a second. Love you guys. I gotta bounce. Tons of love to SPX. Burad's gonna be right. This thing's reflexive as fuck. We're about to fly. Bull run. 2 months from now, 2 years from now, who cares? Believe in you guys. See you later.
Peace and love, brother. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, man.
That speech. Yeah, I'll add one last thing to this conversation. Like, having been around for a little bit now, you definitely notice the sort of cyclical nature of the more predatorial approaches to SPX's large community. I when I first joined, I definitely was in the more kind of PvE, like, hey, everybody can, everything's good, like, everybody can win together. And I think over time, I totally, what I'm trying to say is I sympathize with the OGs and am increasingly empathetic, because I've seen it myself now, that the hyper loyalty, the consistent effort, like all of these things that are really, really difficult and they take a really long time to build, as Matt Beck says, this trust machine. It's also really easy to undo, and it's also really, really important to protect. And so I understand people who have seen this happen for 2.5 years, and who have fought when, their ideas were being stolen or other things. They're going to be, angels, I guess is the best way to put it. Ardent angels and protectors of the ecosystem and the thing that they work so hard to build and that they want to make sure is maintained, especially when the time and the importance of SPX is it's more prominent than ever. Like there's never been a better time for SPX to exist. And so I just want to acknowledge that, like, having been here for a little bit, I totally get that. And I think it's much easier for newer people who especially were onboarded via mutuals. Like I was onboarded via mutuals. I had friends in Giga, I had some friends in Apu, I had some friends in Ticker Bitcoin. That gave me social proof that SPX was like legitimate. And so I understand people who came through that route, thinking that is sort of a foolproof approach. And as always, the answer is nuanced, right? There are some people who don't have bad intentions, who are just like genuinely adjacent, and there are people who do have bad intentions. And I think it's totally reasonable to be skeptical. And everybody's going to have a different opinion. Some people are going to be pure maximalists. They're never going to hold anything else. All SPX only. They're going to stack coins every day. Anyone who's not like that, they're going to like mute and move on. I get that. I respect that. I'm all about that. Like, as a concept, and we need those people in our community. I also like my 2 other OG communities I'm a part of, and I like to just kind of watch stuff, but I'll never buy another coin. So I just think everyone has different opinions, and over time, like, be skeptical at first, but watch actions, watch behavior, don't watch words, and I think the truth will quickly reveal itself.
Yeah, I mean, you two guys are. I think you do something incredible for the community and how you walk that line and represent what it is to be an Eon and such hardworking Eons. I think oftentimes people are referring to you when they have a lot more tolerance for being open-minded because you're able to embody those Eon qualities, and you're very open about those other projects that you're in. I love that episode you guys did with Flip the Stock Market. I thought that was fantastic because I was staunchly I was staunchly on the side of Maxi, and at the same time, I was on your side too. And I love because I love you guys, and I love like what you guys are doing. And I think the community like feels that tremendous gratitude and the work that you guys put in. I think it's the work you guys put in makes makes it makes it so easy to the word's illusion, but so easy because you guys work so hard. Like, and that's what we all value, right? Is how can we contribute in whatever ways that we do, and you guys exemplify that.
First of all, I appreciate that, Seb. And that's one thing about this space that I like observed is there's a bunch of people that just talk the talk, and a land of talkers. It's the walkers that get the respect. So a stable and sustainable ideology is the foundation of every cryptocurrency. When I came across that line doing research for Flip the Stock Market, it was pertaining to Bitcoin, and that was like that like was one of those like kind of like you were talking about, Seb, like one of those moments. Like when I read that, I was like, man, that's everything. And that's why like I will, it doesn't matter if I agree with a maxi or not, like I understand that is everything. Like these commandments that we have, these things that SPX had is so important to the longevity of this community. Like if you lose those, you lose everything. So like I will never get upset at a maxi for just blindly being like that because I understand like the moment you lose that ideology, the project's at risk. Like the whole thing is at risk. So I again like I get it. I don't have to agree with it, but I understand it. And I think it's another important thing that people have to understand about this is if SPX is everything that you just want it to be, that means it's failing because that means it's not big enough. You're not supposed to agree with everything. You're not, because if you do, then the scope of this project is far too small. There's supposed to be things that you don't understand with, but you're also supposed to understand that we are all different people, but we have one goal, one unifying goal, and how we get there is it's each person's journey, and it's supposed to be that you're supposed to cast the widest net that you can. That's how you catch the most fish, right? So I just feel like people kind of lose that sometimes. You know, they'd be like, "Well, I don't agree with that, so fuck that guy." And it's like that cannot be how this works. Cannot. Absolutely, we're small if that's how this works. So we're supposed to agree on everything, but that's how a functioning community works. You're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be zero sum. Like either this guy's right or he's all wrong. That's not how this works. Like you're supposed to understand that you're not supposed to understand or agree with everything, but you know these people. You know in their heart what they're here to do, and that's the unifying thing. Like that is that stable, sustainable ideology that is paramount for our success.
Yeah, 100% well said, Monj. Like perfectly said. And I just want to say that Seb, people like you, I think, are what like in many ways, in my eyes, you are the aspirational. I don't want to say maximalist, but Aeon. You know, I think similar to like Southern Fried Chat and obviously I see you, Spacey, and there's so many examples of this. But like I don't even really feel like I guess I do that much. Like, of course I try and I care deeply about SPX, but I truly treat this like a third space. Like I want to accomplish the mission. Like this is a home away from home for me. And whether I have, difficult things happening in my own life or, I'm having a great time and I want to celebrate that. Like it truly is. I still love the description. I find it really apt. That Murad called this like a sort of like a digital adventure, or I know Monks called it an MMORPG. Like I really resonate with that because that's how I treat it, and there are times where that wanes a little bit and there are times where that waxes, and that's okay with me and I accept it. But you know, what I've come to appreciate in the almost 2 years I've been a part of this is that I know people like you, Seb, and people like R. Lanky, and there's a million examples. I could sit here all day and list examples. They show up every day, and not only do they show up every day, they're on the streets. They're like filming things. They're asking people in public if they want to be a part of this thing. They're literally screaming from the rooftops about this idea. And I mean, how can you not find that inspiring, right? Like at bare minimum, like it's not even asking you to buy any. How can you not find that cool, you know, as like a more peaceful, interesting, and useful response to the same conditions that everybody is facing, right? And so I don't know. I've always thought about it as like, you know, you can choose to be a doomer or you can choose to be an optimist, but realistically, what's the choice, right? You can either choose that the world's over and to do nothing about it, or you can try to forge a path that's better for yourself, for other people, for life in general. And that's what I've always respected about Aeons, about people like you said, and SPX as a whole, is that like it is it is a true movement in like the verb sense of the word, right? Like people are moving, they're doing something to try to fight something that they find to be broken. And I just find a lot of inspiration. Like I'm a big team sports person, both as like a viewer and a player. Um, and you guys are my teammates. So of course I'm gonna like at bare minimum, I have to show up, right? I have to come to practice. You know, sometimes I might be on the bench and that's okay. Like that's fine with me, right? I'm still gonna do my part. I'm still gonna like be in the locker room, and sometimes I'll be on the field and like I'll score a goal or whatever. And a lot of other people will too. And I think that's gonna continue to morph and to change. But um, people like you, I think, deserve the majority of the credit, and I could say that objectively and subjectively. But everyone does play a part, of course.
Bro, thank you. Thank you for those kind words. When you said the team bit, I I felt that 100%, man. I've always been into like solo sports and and being in a team like where there's so many players who are stronger. I'm just looking around and I'm like, holy crap! Like there are people to go to. There are people to say like, oh, can you? Like it's wild. It's wild. The team is I really like that, man. And thank you for the kind words. For myself, I find myself just learning from everyone here. Like, and you know, people who have been here. Not even just people who have been here for longer, but sometimes people have just come on in less time and just taken things off by storm. And I think that feeling of being in a team is so good because yeah, like sometimes you end up being the substitute on the bench, and but you're looking in awe at the people at the 11 who have been selected. I'm thinking of football, soccer, and you're like, well, damn, coach picked them for a reason. Like they are, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Slow, you jumped up. Hello, my friend. Hey, girl. Sorry, I didn't give you the.
Hey, girly girl. No, honestly, after hearing Meng and Cal talk, it's like, I don't think I want to say anything.
Bro, you
There's
dropped
so
the
much
same
better
level of
talking
sound
about
bites. Come on, Slow. You dropped the
it.
same level, my friend.
I don't know about that. I definitely agree that I think you are one of the most valuable Aeons in the community, Seb. In a lot of ways, it's just like Aeons, Aeons that participate and that consistently show up are just invaluable. Which I think is one of the great things too about SPX, that you can have like, the whole like, we don't want mid takes, we want high IQ or low IQ individuals.
Oh, I actually,
And you can have a community of just absolutes. As long as they all show up, you can still win, which is great.
so you got birds in the background as well, Slow. Are you a bird man?
Oh, yeah, I'm a bird man.
What?
Yeah, pigeons, man, pigeons everywhere.
Wait, what?
It's my main mode of communication actually with Aeon One. It's mostly how we communicate.
We were just having this conversation, mate. Drippy was on in the beginning, and Mang and Drippy were talking about their birds, and now you just.
Yeah, yeah.
The real
I don't want to
cognizer
try to
is.
even bother hijacking the conversation or anything. You guys, this is really fun to listen to Meng and Cal talk.
guys drop pure bombs. But no, you did just come in the background with pigeons. Are you serious? That's awesome.
Flo is just like in the most peaceful place of all time. He's literally in the cognosphere.
You know what?
He's in the IRL cognosphere right now.
I kind of am, to be honest.
How do I get to this place? I have the four walls around me. I need to escape.
Yeah.
I think I have to look up YouTube bird noises. That's all I got.
Next level of finding out my location from the bird noises that you hear in the background.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Chang will find you just based on one bird sound.
I was like, maybe he's in here. Make sure he's not.
He's looking up that he knows the species based on the chirp duration.
And like the air, so he's listening for like the frequency, like a whine or something like that.
He's like, I'll be there in 4 hours.
Slow, listen for the knock on the door. Hide your dogs.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Holy crap! I haven't finished watching your episode with Murad, but I heard you dropped all the questions, so I'm like itching just to find the time. You've just dropped some of the hilarious questions. Hope you guys watched it. It's so good.
Well, I actually, truth be told, I had a lot more material. And there was a hiccup, and the hiccup was that last minute, Jeffrey lost all power in his neighborhood, and so he couldn't make it on. And then Krishna had like a family emergency, and so before the episode started, I was talking because Chad knew that I kind of had some like jokes and stuff planned, and yeah, and then we were talking before the episode started, and he was like, maybe let's not like go full blown comedy like style. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. So, but I did have some funny ones. I'm not. I'm maybe hoping we can figure something out again.
Oh, yeah.
It would be really funny to have a between two ferns kind of interview with a rep, or just someone in general. I don't know.
Yeah, like to almost like he's not aware, and then you're just sitting down, or you're gonna prep him, or just completely surprise him.
Well, that was kind of the thing. I was mostly, I think, just going to surprise him. But then, it just like didn't quite feel right. And I was kind of like testing the waters a little bit with the whole, when I asked James question, because I also didn't want to like make her uncomfortable or something. But
But he's so good at like, there was one question about the war, and his response was so good. I was like, how did he looked up for a second? I was like, what's he gonna do? And he was so diplomatic. I was like, oh crap.
Bro, I shit you not. I was cleaning during while I was really excited to listen to it because we've all been deprived of a nice Murad Bull speech, right? And so I'm going around, I'm cleaning my house. And that question was asked, and what did he say? He said something at the beginning, if I speak, I'll be in trouble. If I speak, I'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
And I literally like put my vacuum away and I like hustled over to my phone. I was like, all right, I gotta be ready for this one. I know some knowledge is about to drop.
Yeah. That was a great setup. You guys did really well. You might have to do a journey to Amsterdam slow and then do a live between two ferns.
that would be awesome. I would love to do something like that.
Bro, but how would you stop the laugh? The laugh is your trademark. And like,
Yeah.
it would almost be.
Dude. Hey, I kid you not. Like, I was practicing my questions and delivery and stuff, and the hardest thing for me is to just like get through the fucking sentence without laughing because I couldn't do it ever.
Holy crap! Are you going to Green? Is it Greenville? Am I saying it right? Greenville?
Yeah, it's
Chad's.
Greenville, Spartanburg, or whatever. Yeah, I'm like planning on it. I've been planning on it this whole time, but some IRL stuff has kind of been coming out. And so I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, if I'll be able to make it or not. But yeah, that was the plan, was to be there.
What's the month again? What month does it happen in?
It's in June.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, June, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. What's Seb? I haven't been following as closely as I should outside of like general updates and like speaker things. Do you know the format? Not to put you on the spot, but do you know the format of the Amsterdam one?
The format. What do you mean? Sorry. As
I
in.
guess like yeah, like I is it going to be multiple days?
Oh, I see.
Is it like speakers? Like is it similar to Art Basel in that it's like a series of speakers, a panel or two? Are there other things? Like I'm just curious. If you don't know, it's okay.
Yeah, no. So the idea, if I'm, there's no T Dog to tell me I'm saying it wrong, but basically, it's going to be,
Safe.
yeah, it's going to be, yeah, just a bunch of talks. Um, so people doing different things, going up onto stage, and I think, yeah, that's just going to be broadcast, and then I actually think there's going to be something else on top of that. I know that the day before, where anyone who's around, we're going to go on a boat and we're going to do some stuff. So we're going to do some shilling on the boat. So I think there's going to be some more IRL like activities in terms of. I know Mike wants to. Mike, Mike wants to hit the red light district. With not in the way you're thinking, but
I see. I see.
with some.
Salute.
Look, I follow Mike to war. Wherever Mike needs to go.
Yeah, Mike the Baptist is going. Not.
He's unbaptizing himself.
Yeah. But yes,
Nice.
I
That'll be
think
great.
yeah, some more like silly stuff. I think the day before, and then I think probably yeah, the talking, and I think I do need to check in. I'll probably give it a pretty poor account, but I know that a bunch of speakers are going to go, and then it's going to be SDPC, and probably his crew are going to be filming it, and yeah,
Oh, is it going in the doc?
it's what? Sorry.
Is it going in the documentary?
Oh, I don't know. It must be
The
right.
film crew.
Yeah, because
We
you've
got a
got
film crew. I mean,
yeah.
it's gotta be going somewhere.
It has to, right? I think. I guess maybe then he's. Well, no, because he's going to premiere. He's going to premiere the
Oh, that's
documentary.
true. That's true. Oh
At,
fuck. Well, I mean, that's a great story.
yeah,
I forgot about that. That's gonna be super hype.
it's going to be wild because he's going to have a whole. Yeah, so I guess we're going to watch that. I don't know how long that's going to be, but I think everything's going to be live streamed just like Art Basel.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's going to be. There's probably some things that we're getting up during the day and moving around just because otherwise I think it'd be pretty
Right.
intense just to have solid talks. But you know, I just had the thought it would be quite fun is if we at the end of it we do like you know, like at the end of a Marvel film where they say Thanos will be back in Avengers. We could finish it up in Amsterdam being like Eons will be back in Greenville. Just something like this. There's going to be so many of us. We can.
That would smack.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's so much room for content, for group content. That are you guys planning? Like, what's the setup for you guys over there?
That's a great question. I might want to pass this off. I think here's what I know. Here's what I know. It's largely one day, but some people are going to hang out the night before, so I'm getting in the night before. I know some other people are as well. And then yeah, we've got a series of speakers. We've got a few activities. I don't think that everybody has fully like kind of decided or picked like a topic yet. So I can't speak to like what specifically is going to be said. I think there's like 45 to 50, unless it's grown since I last heard about it, which is highly possible. People coming, and then we're doing a dinner, and we'll have a few panels. I mean, I didn't get to go to. I had a wedding the weekend of Miami, so at least for me, like, you know, I don't want to discredit or minimize the effort that's been put into planning all of it, but like, I'm just hyped to meet people.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll all be fun, and I think it'll be great to have like some of these activities. But at the same time, like I feel like I've already talked so much to everyone here that I almost want to like, what's the opposite of speed dating? Like I want to hang out with everyone for 45 minutes plus. You know what I mean?
You want a nice slow stroll through the park.
I want
with
slow,
everyone.
yeah. I want to enter wherever slow is in the cognosphere with the birds, and I want to chat with each person.
For real. I mean, I wonder how this set up because I guess I think someone was saying, oh, really? Maybe it was you that was saying me that when you're there, it's because you're meeting so many people, and maybe you could have got a bit of an overload. So I wonder if there's a way to sort of have. I guess the dinner would be a good idea, right? Just kind of have that slow down. I mean, you're going to be meeting 50 people for the first time, so there's only there's only so slow we can go, I guess. But I think it's pretty special that two events so close to one another that cater to Europe and to the States. I think that because I don't know, I got like a sort of missing out vibe when Miami happened. I was like, damn, I really wanted to go.
I feel, man, I was the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously different because I wasn't in Europe, but I got a bunch of FOMO when like you know, you and T Dog and other people started meeting up in like London and parts of France and stuff. I was like, fuck, this looks awesome.
Oh,
Meet up with the homies, get mint a couple fresh DCAers fresh off the streets. Perfect.
yeah, yeah, guys. If anyone is stopping through London, always feel free to shout out and let's hang out. It's apparently it's a and if anyone's coming through for Amsterdam and you're stopping by in London, definitely let's hang as well a bit in London because if it's Europe's pretty small. It's not that big. It's not like it's not like the States where a state is probably the size of Texas is like the size of Europe. So we've got a bit more freedom to move around. You can see like 5 different countries in 5 days, but I wouldn't recommend it. But, yeah, no, guys, it's gonna be amazing. I've actually got a dash, guys, and usually, obviously, Mike is I take host because I always end up leaving before Mike. But before we go, does anyone want to jump up? Does anyone want to say anything crazy? Do anything crazy? Sub Chicago, you're gonna have to come up sometime, man. That's gonna be my single focus is to get you to come up onto spaces. We can't let this go on. This legend. Yeah, I'm gonna get you, man. I'm gonna get you up. But anyway, all right. Well, maybe let's hold it there, gang. I got a dash. I gotta get ready for tomorrow. But thank you everyone for joining in and making it such a special Mondaeon as always. And Cow and Slow and Mang, thanks so much for. Oh, here we go. Hang on, Surgeon Fireball, Eon. Go on, mate. Speak now, forever hold your peace. You got in there. Love it. Yo, Eon. Hey, girl.
Yeah, I just want to bring up how companies buy political power, and we should go after that.
Oh, how do you mean? Expand.
I'm more of a writer, not a talker, but they can unlimited. They can spend any amount of money, donating to politicians and pretty much buying them.
So are you kind of saying instead of the 500, or are you kind of saying like isolating companies in the 500 and highlighting their corruption?
Yeah, how they buy both sides.
Yeah, mate, that's a good point. I don't really. I know that there are like war companies, but I don't really know I don't really know what the individual companies are doing.
Well, it's something for us to research and work on.
Yeah, who's got that list? It used to be on my profile page. It was where you've got the 500, the actual 500 companies, and where SPX is in terms of ranking, in terms of being able to flip them. I've got it written down. Hang on, and then we can see all the companies in the 500. It's called.
Are you talking about flipthestockmarket.xyz?
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah,
That's such a good one.
I think it was Tony.
It's a good point, though. I know you have to go with that, but it is
No, go
true.
for it.
Like the system perpetuates itself, right? And the companies can pay the political system to stay relevant, to maintain their moats. Like it's all designed. The Ponzi is thoroughly designed.
That could be kind of cool. Yeah, like if we imagine if in the 500, if we started going, maybe that'd be too brutal. Because are all those companies terrible? I don't know. But but imagine if we start, yeah, slowly,
Fuck
yeah,
'em.
burn them.
I'd be shocked, dude. I'd be shocked if there were some good actors out there. Anyone who's a good actor got squeezed by the system. You're not lasting long in the 500 as a good guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Hell yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, good
That
point.
is a really good point. I think that like what S&P 500 haters doing with his articles, and YouTube Monge about talking with him about doing something with him on those. I think that's excellent, and that's what Surgeon Fireball said too. I think that's a really important point. Is like the political system. Everyone agrees that the political system isn't working for them. It's like it's working for someone. It's working for corporations and S&P 500 and all that. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe it would give us more perspective if we were also targeting. that sounds kind of funny, but targeting the individual companies as well as we were flipping them. And imagine this is the next one we're going after, number 450 on the list. They do blah 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 blah, and Eons are on the rampage, and then we flip them, and we're like dusted, and then we go to the next one, fatality. I don't know. But cool. Food for thought. Thanks, Surgeon Fireball. Thanks for bringing that up. I just added my goof on top, but yeah, guys,
Hey,
I got. Go
thanks
on.
for hosting the space as always. Really appreciate you.
A pleasure. Thank you so much, guys, for all taking your precious time and being in the space. And I know Mike will be back next week, and we'll be the double team again. But appreciate you guys, and thanks for sharing all your words and your attention, and everyone here. And haven't said I love you enough without my cuts. Love you, girls. Have an amazing week, whatever you're doing. And yeah, happy Monday. Bye, girls.